Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. In this video, I want to talk about the Houston Rockets versus the Oklahoma City Thunder series. The Houston Rockets won the series tonight in 5 games. They won tonight 105-99 at home, and the series. I'm just surprised it was. People say, well, yeah, they won 4-1, but I'm surprised it was as close as it was. Game 1, yeah, that was a blowout. Game 2 was close. I think if Westbrook would have played a little bit better, took some better shots down the stretch of that game, they could have won Game 2. Game 3, of course, the Thunder won. The supporting cast was clearly their best game for the players not named Westbrook. Games 4 and 5. 4, they were up in that game. They had a chance to win it, and then they ended up losing that down the stretch. And here in Game 5, like I said, had another opportunity to win this, to win that game. So I would feel as though outside of one game, the rest of them were really close. And I think a big reason why they would, at least 2 of these games, why they lost down the stretch was, Westbrook getting fatigued, really starting to take some bad shots. And, other guys just not really contributing a lot offensively. Oladipo is a guy who, was supposed to be the second best scorer. And he really hasn't been contributing even all season, and especially in this series. Coming into Game 5, Andre Roberson was the second leading scorer at about 13.3. He had 3 points tonight, which obviously will lower his points for the entire series, so that will then go to Victor Oladipo, who's only at 10 points, and it drops down from there. And Roberson will move to, I believe, the third at about 8 points. These guys, even having Roberson in that top 3, even coming into that game, being a second leading scorer throughout the series, and this guy, if you watch this series, how inept this guy offensively, blowing layups. He was terrible from the free throw line. I believe for the series, he was 3 of 21. The Rockets saw how bad he was shooting free throws. They were even willing to foul him down the stretch of games because he was such a bad free throw shooter. And, even in Game 5, they did that down the stretch, and he missed. That guy was terrible. He had 3 points. He was 1 of 7, 14%. His defense was good. I'll give him credit on his defense. I think that's the strong point of his game. He's a good defender. I thought he did a solid job. James Harden shot a lot of free throws in this series, but I thought Roberson did a solid job defensively. I believe he led the team. In blocks, but overall, he was terrible offensively and a huge issue, especially down the stretch of games when we saw them miss free throws. In Game 5, Russell Westbrook had 47 points. He was 15 of 34. That's about 44%. That's solid. The problem right here is he was 5 of 18 behind the 3-point line. That's about 27%. I feel as though, once he started to settle in, he starts to take a lot of really bad threes. You see early on in these games, he's going to the rim. This guy is really athletic. I would rather him take that little mid-range shot. I think that's definitely part of his game. But sitting back shooting the threes, as athletic and quick as you are to really bail out the defense, I think it puts pressure on that Houston Rockets. It would put pressure on that Houston Rockets defense, allowing him to get other guys involved. And you saw that's what he was doing really throughout the series. He also had 11 rebounds. He had 9 assists in this series. 7 turnovers, but the guy has the ball so much. They even look at the advanced metrics of usage percentage, how long he's had the ball, but it's a lot. Definitely more than the regular season numbers, just because they're playing a higher quality opponent than you normally face on a nightly basis in the NBA, in the NBA regular season. But looking into the offseason, man, they're gonna get some other guys, man. I do like the piece with Taj Gibson, him being there. I thought he should have got a little more attempts. You saw in the game that they won, it was Game 3. He had 20 points. He played well. I think he should definitely get some more attempts. They didn't use Cantor very much. He got 3 minutes of playing time in this series. I thought he was a guy who you can dump it down to, but he didn't get a lot of opportunity. Doug McDermott is a guy who, he took one shot this game. He took one shot. He's a guy who can knock down shots. They're going to have to find some other guys. I don't know exactly what they can do in the offseason. I don't know who. Possibly, maybe they could do something. Maybe go out to Paul George. I doubt he's going to go there. But he's going to need some help. Or these guys are going to have to get better. A guy like Oladipo has been a huge disappointment. He was a disappointment in Orlando. He's supposed to be the second best guy. Definitely didn't look like it throughout this series. On the Houston Rockets side, James Harden, he had 34 points. He was 8 of 25, 32%, which was terrible. Another guy who he shot poorly from the three-point line, 2 of 13. It's about 15% from the three-point line. He shot 17 free throws. I believe that put him at 73 for the entire series. He made 66 of them. I did the numbers. 39.7% of his points, his total points for this series, came from the free throw line. That's crazy. You saw plays where he'll get fouled and they'll still give him the continuation on a 3-point shot, so he'll get 3 free throws. I've seen that happen at least 2 or 3 times. Just thinking about it, but he, heading into later into the playoffs, he can't really be relying on these free throws. He has to play better. He has to shoot better. He had 8 rebounds, which is good. He had the 4 assists, but the 5 turnovers. So he was turning the ball over more so than he was getting assists. I think in terms of the floor game, overall throughout the season, him and a guy like Westbrook, they've been turning the ball over a lot. But they really have to, James Harden has got to move on. He really is going to have to play in terms of consistency. He's going to have to play better. He can't be going for the, he can't be sitting there flopping, because he can't expect them to call it throughout the entire playoffs. He was getting some calls. Definitely was getting some calls, but he can't expect it. So you can't expect to keep getting these calls as the playoffs go on and the team's getting better. Because I felt as though they looked sloppy. They looked sloppy throughout this series. I thought Nene played well off the bench. Lou Williams, another guy, he had a good game tonight. He was at 22 points, 5 rebounds. Yeah, he shot 7 of 14, and that's what they brought a guy like that in there for. He's a guy who could get hot quick. He can make a bunch of outside shots. Nene, surprise. Last game he had 28. He was 12 of 12. Wow. Eric Gordon, he's been really inconsistent this series, but he's another guy who can light it up coming off the bench. Ryan Anderson's been terrible. Wow, he's been terrible. Trevor Reeves has been terrible. Especially, these guys are supposed to be the shooters. Between the two of them, 0 of 8. So they haven't shot the 3 ball as well. In this particular game, they shot 16%. 16% behind the 3-point line. And let me see how many attempts. They had 37 attempts. They were 6 of 37 behind the 3-point line. 6 of 37. So these guys, there's a big reason why OKC was in this game. You watch this game, a lot of open shots. Guys are missing. But, heading on into the next series, these guys are going to have to step it up. OKC, outside of Westbrook, not a good team. They're not a good team, especially offensively. So you can't expect to beat a good team missing a lot of shots like this. But that pretty much does it. I believe the Houston Rockets will play the winner of the Spurs Memphis series, and which I predicted is more likely going to be the Spurs. You definitely, that's a better team. You're going to have to. These guys are going to step up, be more consistent. James Harden's going to step up, be more consistent. He's going to have to go out there and be the floor general. Can't have more turnovers than you have assists. And you can't go out there shooting 30% and hope to beat good teams. It just, this just shows you how bad that OKC, the rest of that team is, and how and credit to the other Houston Rocket players like Lou Williams, like Nene, who had good games, especially a guy like Nene, who's we didn't expect really nothing from him. He's been a surprise. At least the last 2 games, he's been a surprise. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. What you think about the whole playoffs in total? 3 of the series are done with. One of the games on right now, as I pretty much make this video, is the Utah LA Clippers series. Of course, we know this series is over, and we still have the Hawks series. We still have the Raptors series, and of course the Spurs series, and then the Clippers Utah is still gonna have to play Game 6. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.